The history of Mecca. The Kaaba, a building in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, is the center of worship of the religion of Islam. It is believed to have been built by Adam directly below the gate of heaven in the center of the world, and is modeled after a house in heaven called the Baitul Ma'mur. The Quran indicates that Abraham and Ishmael rebuilt the Kaaba, and Muslims believe it has been the center of the Islamic religion ever since, or perhaps even since Adam. The Kaaba contains a black rock that is believed to have been sent down by their Allah. It seemed the greatest difficulty with this is that there is absolutely no historical or archaeological record of Mecca or its Kaaba ever having existed before the Christian era, or perhaps even before the 4th century AD. Based on extensive historical and archaeological evidence presented by Dr. Rafat Amari that you can access at the links provided to the right or below this video, it seems Mecca was built around the 4th century by the Yemeni tribe of Uzza that had migrated to that bleak, barren desert wasteland. The Kaaba was apparently constructed by Asad Abu Karb in the early 5th century AD, when the black stone apparently made its way to Mecca, most likely also from Yemen. It is said that prior to the construction of the Kaaba, a tent existed on the spot where it was built. Geographers and historians from antiquity note even small Arabian settlements before the Christian era that came and went within a few centuries. And while the historical accounts about and artifacts from ancient settlements confirm the existence of each other, there is no reference to Mecca or its Kaaba to be found. This, even though it was eventually built on one of the most established trading routes in Arabia, about which historical record abounds, and in spite of the Muslim claims that Mecca was the center of the Islamic faith for thousands of years before Mohammed. If this were the case, Mecca would certainly have been one of the most written about Arabian places by those early geographers and historians. There are references to lots of other temples, and even to a great temple, quote, highly revered by all Arabs, end quote, that was located near Ellat at the Kaaba Gulf area. Even Muhammad's own tribe, the Quraish, went on Hajj or pilgrimage to a holy place to the north twice a year, long after the Kaaba in Mecca was built, indicating that the Kaaba in Mecca was a lower tier temple. Back in those days, when a meteorite was discovered in Arabia, a temple would be built at the site. The stone, quoting, "The stone was considered the main shrine or sacred element in each temple, called Kaaba in Arabic. This revered stone, which represented the moon, was considered to be divine. The worship of the Arabian Star Family with Allah, who was the moon at its head, revolved around the black stone. Ellat, Allah's wife, was the sun, and Uzza and Manat, his daughters, represented 2 planets." There was no shortage of Kaabas in Arabia, each with its own black stone. Arabic religious temple design left its indelible fingerprints on these temples, as well as in the Kaaba in Mecca, demonstrating that Abraham could not have built it, even if the city of Mecca had preceded the 4th century AD. Indeed, no Muslim will deny that there may have been as many as 360 stone idols located in and around the Kaaba in Muhammad's day. Muhammad took issue with the polytheists and finally gained the power to expel all of the stone idols, which he did, except for the black rock that Muslims still bow toward 5 times a day. Each Muslim is even required to travel to Mecca to circumambulate his stone, just as the pagans did before Muhammad. In the absence of historical or archaeological evidence that Mecca existed before the Christian era, Islam is exposed as being Muhammad's standalone 7th century religion. The purpose of this video is to introduce the subject matter of the links provided in the upper right or below this video for your own perusal. Please review the extensive evidence presented by Dr. Amari. If after further investigation you are so inclined, please join us in the Islam Christian Forum at brotherpete.com to present any evidence you may find that confirms that Mecca existed prior to the Christian era, or simply for discussion on this as well as many other subjects. If you are unfamiliar with the role of the Kaaba in Islam, please see the video Mecca, the Kaaba, and the Black Stone on this Pete Waldo channel. Through my travels on the internet, I find it increasingly difficult to imagine that Islam will be able to survive the information age, at least among citizens of developed countries that have access to that information. Please visit brotherpete.com.